Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're gonna build a seamless Web3 application. And by seamless, I mean we're gonna allow a user to sign into our Web3 application via email, which is gonna create them a wallet behind the scenes using Paper Wallet. And we're also going to sell some NFT art. And instead of purchasing the art with crypto, you'll be able to use a credit card to transact purchasing your NFT, and we'll be able to view those NFTs within our wallet that we set up with our email. So nowhere in the app will you have to connect or interact with a wallet or cryptocurrency. You're going to be signing into this application with an email and purchasing things with a credit card. So an overview of what we're going to be going over and what we're going to be doing in this tutorial. We're first going to create a smart contract that is going to contain our art NFTs. We're then going to create a application, and we're going to use Paper Wallet so our user can sign in and create a wallet with an email. And we'll also integrate Paper's checkout with a credit card so that a user can purchase the art NFTs with a credit card instead of cryptocurrency. So before we get started, let's take a look at a demo of what we're going to be building. So right here on my computer, I have this web application open, and it's a web app where we're selling digital artwork or NFTs. But again, nowhere in this application will we be interacting with a wallet or paying with cryptocurrency. So we just have a little banner here of some AI generated artwork, and we have some AI generated art pieces right down here as well. Now you can see up here, or if we click on one of the art pieces first, you see the art piece's name, and it says log in to buy this artwork. So we'll just head back to the homepage here, but in the top right, there is a login button here, and this is going to create a wallet. Now, all you need to do is enter an email address. So you put in your email address, and you'll get this code that is sent to your email. So you just have to verify that. And with that, you are now connected with a Paper Wallet behind the scenes. So if we actually come over to our profile here, let's click on our profile. You can see we have some art pieces already. I have 3 of this first art piece here. I have 1 of this art piece here. We have a sign out button, which will sign me out and disconnect my wallet. We'll head back to artwork, and we'll buy this artwork number 3 here. So when I click on it, you'll see here that this pay card comes up, and this is powered by Paper, and this will allow you to pay with Google or Apple Pay if you have it set up. Now this is on a testnet, so we're not using a real credit card or anything. We're going to use a placeholder card, so I'm just going to put my name, and then we're going to just put in the example card number and everything here. But essentially, someone could put in their payment information, and the total amount of what that art piece or that NFT would cost in fiat would appear here. Of course, you would be listing this in cryptocurrency on your backend side, but you can hit pay now. And again, you're purchasing this with a credit card, and nowhere are you interacting with cryptocurrency or anything. You can see payment was successful, it was sent through, and we can now view our collectibles, which is going to take us back to our profile page. And in here, if we give it a bit, we should see our 3rd NFT pop up. And there you go. You see we now own art piece number 3. We own 1 of them because we just purchased it. And there you go. Again, this is a seamless Web3 application, or that's what we're calling it. And it doesn't have to interact with a wallet or cryptocurrency. A lot of what the user is seeing is things that they are familiar with from Web2 applications, like signing in with an email and purchasing something with a credit card. So without wasting any time, let's jump on the computer and let's get started. So first thing on our computer here, we're going to head over to thirdweb.com. Go ahead and connect your wallet, and once you're connected, we're going to browse contracts. And the first contract we're going to deploy, or actually the only contract we're going to deploy, is our contract to sell our artwork. So I'm going to, under the popular section, there's this EditionDrop. If you don't see it in the popular section, if you come into this NFT section here, you can hit view all, and you can view and you can find the EditionDrop contract right over here. Now, the EditionDrop contract is in ERC 1155 standard contract, which means it is semi-fungible tokens, meaning that we can create different art pieces but sell multiple copies of that art piece. Instead of making it an ERC 721 where each art piece has to be an individual NFT, we can keep our art pieces nice and organized by just creating one NFT and selling multiple copies of it. So we're going to deploy this EditionDrop. I'm just going to call this artwork. Actually, we'll call it AI artwork since it is AI artwork. So we'll call it AI art for our symbol. I'm just going to take one of the AI art pieces and drag it into the image. You can add a description and everything here. You can set your royalties for secondary sales. You can also set the wallet address that the primary sales or funds are going to be sent to. So you can drop it here. By default, it's going to be the wallet that you have connected to ThirdWeb. Down here, you can select the network or chain you want to deploy on. If you select the dropdown, you can select any mainnet or testnet. Any EVM compatible blockchain is something that you can select here. For this tutorial though, we're just going to use Mumbai, which is Polygon's testnet, and we're going to deploy now. We'll confirm the transaction that comes up and sign the message to add it to your dashboard. Once that's been deployed, you'll be brought to your contract dashboard and you'll be brought to this contract checklist. And you can see here, the next part of our checklist is to upload our NFTs. So it says head to the NFTs tab to upload your NFT metadata. Now on the left hand navigation here under the extensions section, we have NFTs. And in here, we can upload our NFT metadata. Now I'm gonna hit single upload. We're gonna call this first one AI art and we'll just say 01. We'll put in our image here and I'll just put this is an art piece generated by AI. I'm not going to add any traits or anything here. And I'm going to lazy mint this NFT, which is just going to prepare all of the metadata and everything for this NFT on our smart contract, but it's not going to be owned by any wallets just yet. So we're going to lazy mint that there, confirm this transaction. And you can see here, we now have our first art piece available here. I'm going to do this for 2 more art pieces. So we have 3 in our collection. Once I do that, I'm going to do the exact same thing, just add an image, name, and description. I'm just going to speed through it right now and we'll be right back after that is done. And there you go. We have 3 AI art NFT pieces generated for us right here. I named them here. I gave them each kind of a little different description. Now, before we end this contract, the last thing we need to do here is set claim conditions for each individual NFT. Because this is an ERC 1155, we can set claim conditions per NFT within the contract. So I'm going to select the first art piece here, and there will be a claim conditions tab. And for this, we're going to add a phase. I'm going to select public, so anyone can come and purchase this NFT. You can set a limit if you want this to have a limited supply. So say maybe you only want 100, you can do that. Or you can set it unlimited and this can be owned by an unlimited amount of people. You can also set the charge or the price of your NFT here. For this tutorial, because we're just using a fake payment system or a demo payment system, we're just going to set it to 0.01 Matic. But over here, you can set it to whatever cost or price you want to sell the NFT at. You can also set how many NFTs can be claimed per wallet. We're going to leave that unlimited so that someone can buy this as much times as they want. And we're going to hit save phase. We'll confirm the transaction. And once that has saved, that's all we have to do for the NFT. Now, again, you have to set claim conditions per each token or per each NFT within an ERC 1155 smart contract. So I'm going to do the same exact thing for these 2 other pieces, and we'll be right back after that. Okay, and I now have claim phases on each one of my NFTs here. So that does it for deploying our contract and setting it up with the NFTs that we want to sell. Now, before we get into building the actual application, we have to register this contract with Paper so that the credit card checkout will work with this specific contract. So we're going to come over to paper.xyz. Again, a link to the site will be down in the description below. We're going to come over to Dashboard here, and Dashboard is going to be where you can set up everything on the dev side for Paper wallets. At the top here, checkout. So we're going to head to contracts. And we're going to register a contract. And what we're going to do is register your contract, which is adding a contract that is already deployed. We already deployed one, so we're just going to register it here. We're going to give it a name, so we'll call this one AI artwork. We're going to select the blockchain that it is deployed on. So in this case, Mumbai. We're going to get the contract address, so we can come back here. We can select the contract address right there. We'll paste that in. Contract type, you can select the third web contract right here, and we can register that. And you can see here we have our AI artwork. We have this contract ID, which is what we're going to need to set up our credit card checkout. While you're in the paper dashboard here, another thing you'll have to set up is your auth settings here. And this will be for your setting up your paper wallet connections in your third web application. So here we'll just say AI artwork. And you can set the domain that it is going to be working on. In this case, we're going to set it at localhost 3000 because that's the domain that we're going to run our application when we build it, and we'll hit save. All right, so now what we can do is build out our application. So I'm going to open up my terminal here, and we're going to build our application starting off with third web. So I'm going to do npx third web at latest create app. We're going to name our application. Oh, let's make sure we get the latest version here. We'll name this Seamless app. We're going to use EVM because we're using Mumbai, and we're going to use Next.js and TypeScript for this application. And once that finishes, we'll change into our Seamless app here and open that up with our code editor. So in our code editor, we'll first head into the pages folder here and go to the app.tsx file. And this is where we're going to set up our active chain here, which is the chain that we're going to be interacting with for our application. In this case, it's Mumbai because that's the blockchain we deployed our AI NFTs to. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up so that our user can sign into our application using email, which is going to be using the paper wallet. So under the third web provider here, where it has active chain, we have that set to Mumbai. We're going to add one more thing here called supported wallets. And in supported wallets, we're going to use the paper wallet. Now with paper wallet, we do have to give it a client ID. And for our client ID, if we come back to our dashboard here, under our auth settings, this client ID right here is what you'll use for your client ID. So you just copy that, paste it in, and save that. So with that, that's all we need to do and set up for our third web provider here. So if we close that, we can actually, let's run this really quick. So we should have third web's templated code here, which is this right over here. We can see, it automatically signed us in. So we're gonna sign out here. So you'll have this connect wallet button. When you select it, you'll be able to put in your email address. So we'll just put in our email address to test it out here again. And again, you get prompted the code that you were sent. So let me just check my email here. And there you go. We are signed in. This is actually our paper wallet. So you can see here, this is our wallet address. We have Nomadic in it because we created it. We are on the Mumbai network. All of this is what you can view when you just have our regular connect wallet button. But when we build our app, we're going to, in a way, hide this and just allow a user to view the contents of their wallet. So let's head back to our code editor here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go to our pages folder and index.tsx file, and I'm going to get rid of everything within this container div here. All right, so I'm going to leave that there. We're going to get rid of this connect wallet because we're going to first create a navbar at the very top here. So in my file directory here, I'm going to create a new folder called components. And in there, I'm going to create a new file called navbar.tsx. And we're going to create our navbar component, which is going to be a very simple navbar. Just have our logo on one side or the name of our app on one side, and then our login or connect wallet button on the other side. So let's create this here. And our navbar, we're going to give this a class name here of styles.container. I'm going to make sure I import styles from, I think it's under, yeah, home module. And we're going to give this another div here. We're going to give this a class name of styles dot, what did I make it, navbar. And I do have some CSS that I pre-made for this project. It'll be down in the description below. You can check out the repo and copy and paste, or check out what CSS styling I created for it. If not, again, you can style your app however you would like to. This navbar, I believe, is just a flex to split the name and the connect wallet or login button within our application. So in this side, we're going to create a link here, which is just going to bring us back to our homepage. And that link is going to have the name of our app, which is just going to be AI artwork. We'll close that off. And then on the right side of our navigation, we'll create another div, and we're going to add the connect wallet button from ThirdWeb, and we'll save that. And I'm going to add this into our app.tsx file. I'm just going to add it over our components here. So if we come back to our application here, you can see we have this little nav bar here, and with our connect wallet button and everything up here. If I sign out though, we still have a connect wallet button, and we want this connect wallet button to say like log in or sign in. So coming back to our code editor here, we'll find that connect wallet UI component, and we can change the button title to whatever we want it to say. So we'll just have it say log in. So when we come back to our app here, now we have a button that says login, and you see you just need to put in your email address. Now, once someone does log in, so let's just sign back in right here. So when someone does sign in, we don't want to show this wallet information here. Maybe we just want to show like a profile avatar or something that a Web2 user is very familiar with, like viewing their profile once they're signed into something. So what we're going to do is we're going to double check and see if a wallet is connected. Then we're going to display a profile avatar instead of the connect wallet button. So coming back to our code editor here, we first need to check to see if a wallet is connected. And we can check that by creating an address variable here, and we can use the use address hook from ThirdWeb. And what this is going to do is grab the wallet address of any wallet that is connected to our application. But we can also use it for if there is no address connected to our application, then we can display something else. So if there is no address, what we're going to do is display our connect wallet button. Right, so if there is no address, we're going to take this and display our connect wallet button. But if there is an address, we're going to create a little profile link. So I just grabbed a profile image from this link right over here. And when we click on that profile image, it's going to take us to our profile of our wallet address. So whatever wallet address is connected. And with that, if we come back to our application here, you can see now instead of seeing that connect wallet button with the information like network and how much crypto and stuff you earn, you just see a nice little avatar here, and you can click on it and it'll bring you to your profile. So that does it for our nav bar here. It's a very simple nav bar with just a title and again that connect wallet button, but we did do some tweaking to it so that it feels like you're interacting with a regular Web2 app and not a wallet. Next, we'll just add some quick things to our homepage like a banner and display our NFT artwork that we have for sale. So coming back to our code editor here, let's close out these tabs here, where we'll be in our index.tsx file. And we're going to create a div here at the top. We're going to give this a class name of hero banner. So we have styles.hero banner. And again, we're just going to give it a title. So we'll just put another div in here and we'll give it a title of AI artwork. And we'll add a little message that says buy some digital AI art pieces. And this hero banner is a flex as well, so we'll just create an empty div on this side that spaces out our little title here to the left. So if we look here, there we go. We have our banner. This is just a background image that we placed in our CSS. And you can see we have our little messages and stuff here. And the other blank div is just on the right side over here. So next, let's just display the NFT art pieces that we have for sale. So to do that, we're first going to need to get our NFTs. So we're going to have to get our contract that we have our NFTs with. So we're going to get our contract, store it under our contract here. We're going to use the use contract hook from ThirdWeb. And the use contract hook is going to take our contract address. So we can come back here and get our contract address from our ThirdWeb dashboard. We're also going to make sure we import use contract. And we can also specify what type of contract it is, which is an EditionDrop. Now, once we have our contract, we can get all the NFTs within that contract. So we're going to use another hook from ThirdWeb. We're going to get back the data here. We're going to call these NFTs because we're getting our NFTs. And we're going to check the is loading here. And then we'll just call this NFTs loading. Right? But we're going to use the use NFTs hook here. And what use NFTs is going to check is the NFTs from the contract. So the contract that we specified right up here, which was our EditionDrop. Now this is going to give us back an array of NFTs that are within that contract. And what we're going to do down here is we're just going to map through those NFTs and display a card or an image and link them to the detail pages of each of those NFTs. So we'll first check and make sure that everything is done loading and that we have our NFTs data. And if we do, what we're going to do is we're going to create a div here and we're going to use the class name grid, which is going to give us a nice grid here that we can display our NFTs in. And within that grid, we're going to map through all of our NFTs. And for each NFT, we're going to create a link here. And our link, we'll first give it a key, which is going to be nft.metadata.id. And we're going to give it a href of, we're going to do artwork /nft.metadata.id. And then what we're going to do for our card here is we'll create a div here and we'll give this one a class name of, what did I make it? Art card. And for this card, we're going to display the image of the NFT and the name. So for the image, we can use the ThirdWeb NFT media, which is going to take a metadata. And that metadata, we can set it to the NFT's metadata. And what that will do is render out the image of the NFT for us. And below this, we'll also just create a div. We gave this one a class name of styles.cardContent. And within that, we're going to just display the NFT's name, which we can get from NFT metadata.name. So with that, we can come back to our app here. And you can see right over here, we now have all three of our art pieces that we've created and deployed to our smart contract. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is create the detail pages for each one of these art pieces that will allow you to purchase the artwork. So we're going to come back to our code editor here, and we're going to create, where is it? We're going to come back to our file directory here. Under pages, we're going to create a new folder called artwork. And within artwork, we're going to create a file. And in brackets, we're going to have token ID and then .tsx. And then in this one, we are going to create our, and in here, we're going to create our detail page for our art pieces. And then we're going to give the div a class name of container. We'll just make sure that we import the style sheet here. It's actually going to be, again, from our home module. And for this artwork page, we're gonna use a few things and get the token ID of the artwork that we need to display first. So we're gonna use a router here, and we'll just import use router. And we're going to create a variable called token ID, which we are going to get depending on what NFT we selected. We're also going to get our address of the wallet connected using the use address hook. And we're also going to get the email of the paper wallet address that is connected to our application. So, well, not address, we'll call this email. And we're going to use the use paper wallet user email hook. And the reason we need this is, I'll go over it in a bit when we set up the credit card payment. But instead of a user having to input their email address when they have to check out because they're already signed in, having this email here, we can autofill the email of the connected wallet that is connected to our application. Then we need to get the NFT's metadata of what we need to display for the specific NFT. So before we do that, we need to get our contract here. Again, we can use the use contract hook. We can put in our contract address. I'm just going to grab that from our index page here. And we can set that to EditionDrop. Make sure that is imported as well. And then similar to what we did on our homepage when we needed to get the NFTs from our contract, we can get the individual NFT metadata from a specific NFT depending on its token ID. So we're going to use the use NFT hook from ThirdWeb. That's going to take our contract and then our token ID, which is going to be the token ID that we get from our router up here. And when we'll just say as a string, right? Let's import use NFT here. Right? And that's the information we're going to need to set up our detail page for our artwork and the ability for a user to purchase that artwork. So down here, what we're going to do and display is we're going to check if our NFTs have loaded. So we'll make sure that the metadata of our NFT has loaded. And if it hasn't loaded, we'll just add some, we'll just say loading, just like that. And if it has loaded, we'll create a div here. We'll give it a class name of styles dot, I think I did, art container, which again is just creating a flex and separating our pages. We'll then create another div here. This one is going to have the class name of art image, which will be the left side of our flex container. And all we're going to do for our art image is display the image using our ThirdWeb NFT media again. We'll set the metadata to the NFT's metadata. And we're also going to give it a height of 100% and a width of 100% as well. So I'm going to save that really quick. And if we come over to our application here and we select one of our NFTs, it should display our NFT artwork for that NFT. So we'll just make sure everything is working here. And you can see it's displaying our artwork. Next, we'll add some information to the right side of our NFT detail page. So we're going to create a div here. We're going to give this one a class name of styles dot, what do we need this? Art info. So it's going to be the informational side. With that, we're going to create a div and we're going to display the name, which is going to be nft.metadata.name. Then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that a user is signed in to a wallet in order to make a purchase. So we're not going to show the purchase information unless someone's signed in, because if they try to purchase something and they're not signed in, it's not going to know what wallet or account to send the NFT to. So we're going to check to make sure that one, they have an address, they have an email so that it is a paper wallet that is connected, and we know the token ID of the NFT that we're purchasing. And if they don't have any of those things, we're going to say log in to purchase this artwork. But if they do have it, what we're going to display is the checkout or the credit card checkout from Paper. So we're going to check out Paper's site here really quick. So on Paper, you can check out their docs. And you can see under checkouts, there is a checkout element and there is a checkout with card. And this will allow us to build this little checkout with card panel right over here. Now you can see that there is some integration with React. So first thing we're going to need to do is install this SDK here. So we're going to take that, go back to our code editor. Let's open up our terminal and install that. Once that is installed, we'll be able to access the checkout with card component right over here. So on this div here, we're going to do checkout with card. Now, checkout with card does require two things. We're going to need our config and we're going to need an on payment success. So in here, we're going to do our configs first. And in our configs, we first have our contract ID of the contract that we're going to be allowing credit card checkouts for. We need the wallet address that the NFT is going to be sent to, which is going to be the address that is connected to our application. Then we can set up our contract arguments. This is specific for the ERC 1155 contracts because we do need to set the token ID that is going to be purchased with the credit card, so that on Paper's end, they know which NFT within the collection needs to be purchased. So again, this is mainly for 1155 contracts. If you're doing 721, you don't need to add this contract argument in. And then we're also going to set the email to the email.data, which is going to give us the email address as a string. Right? And then we also need on payment success, which we are going to set up some states for this so that once a payment is successful, a user has the ability to check out their profile page. And if you want to, you can also add some options and you can customize the look of your payout card by adding some background color and some border radius and everything to your payment area. So on payment success, we want to hide the credit card payment component once the payment has gone through. So up here, we're going to first create a state variable here. We're going to call this payment success, not on payment success. We'll say payment successful. And we're going to use state. We'll just import that. Initially, it will be set to false. But once a payment goes through, we're going to set it to true. And we're going to just take this. We're going to call this handle payment. So we'll take handle payment success. And that is what will happen when a payment is successful through the credit card checkout. Now, we also want to make sure that we toggle this checkout card here. So within this, we're going to check if a payment is successful or not. So if a payment is not set to successful, we are going to show our credit card component here. And if a payment was successful, we're going to show that payment was successful, and we're going to create a button here that is going to take, we can say, view collectibles. And this button is going to take the user to their profile page. So we can say router push, and this is going to take them to their /profile/ and then this is going to be their address, just like that. So we're going to create that profile page in just a moment. But again, this should set up our detail pages for our NFTs. So let's head back to our application here. When we select an NFT, you can see that we have our NFT, we have our artwork, and we have our credit card module. which we didn't set our contract ID to. So coming back to our paper dashboard here, again, heading over to your contract, under the contract that you registered, there is a contract ID. You can copy that. And then back in our credit card checkout here, under the configs, we just have to make sure we set that contract ID right there. So coming back to our application here, we'll come back, we'll select the art piece, and you'll see here that we get our credit card module or component that is loading. Once it's loaded, you can purchase an NFT. So let's test this out. We'll say, John, we'll put in the sample credit card number, and let's purchase this NFT. And once the payment is successful, we should be brought saying, hey, payment is successful, and you can now view your collectibles. So the next thing we need to do is create our profile page so that a user can view the collectibles or NFTs that they have purchased. So let's head back to our code editor here. And under our pages, we're going to create our pages folder. We're going to create another folder here. This one's going to be called profile. And within that folder, we're going to, not a folder, we're going to create a file. And in brackets, we're going to say wallet address.tsx. So this is going to be our profile page. So let's create this first. And we'll import our style sheet again here. This is actually from home. And in our profile page here, we're going to, again, set up a router here because we're going to allow someone to sign up and we're going to route them back to the home page if they sign out. We're going to get the address once again using the use address hook. Make sure we import that. And we're going to get the disconnect to disconnect our wallet, and we're going to use the use disconnect hook from Third Web to set our disconnect, which we were going to create a function for that in a bit. But again, in our profile page, we want to display all the owned NFTs that a user has. So again, first we're going to get our contract using our use contract hook. We'll get that contract address again from over here. This is an EditionDrop. And once we have our contract, we can get the owned NFTs. So we'll set our data to here, owned NFTs. We'll set is loading to loading owned NFTs. And we're going to use the use owned NFTs hook here. And we're going to specify the contract that we're checking the owned NFTs of, which is the contract that we set here. And we're checking that against our address that is connected to our application. So it's going to only bring in the data of the owned NFTs that the address has to our app. So in our app here, what we're going to display is we'll just say, we'll create a title here that says profile. And we'll also just create a subheader here that says your collectibles. And we're going to make sure that our owned NFTs are done loading and that we have our owned NFTs. And if not, we're just going to display some loading text. So we'll just display something that says like loading here. But once we have loaded our owned NFTs, we also want to make sure that our owned NFTs here, we actually have NFTs. So we're going to double check and make sure that the length of the owned NFTs is greater than 0 here. If we don't own any NFTs, we'll just say you don't own any collectibles yet. But if we do own some, we're then going to, again, map. We're going to map through those NFTs and display them. So in here, we're just going to create a div, and we're going to give this one a class name of styles.artcard. We're also going to give it a key, and that is going to be set to nft.metadata.id. We're going to display the image, again, using our Third Web NFT media with the metadata set to the NFT's metadata. Then we'll also just create a div down here, give it the class name of styles.card content, and we'll just put in the information of our NFT that we own. So we'll get the name, and we're also going to get the quantity that we own. So in owned NFTs, we'll just put quantity. We can get the quantity of owned NFTs of a specific token ID. If we do NFT dot, we have quantity owned, and that's going to give us the number of how much of that NFT we own. And that really does it for our profile page. A very simple profile page. So if once we have purchased this, we hit view collectibles, it's going to bring us to our profile page here. And it's going to load our NFT right here. You can see art number 2 and we own 1. Now we're also going to create a sign out button. So again, remember we used this use disconnect here. So we're going to create a function called sign out. And this is going to disconnect our wallet and then bring us back to our home page here. So let's see, under our profile, we'll just add a button that says sign out. And this button will, on click, will just sign out our profile. So coming back out to our profile page here, if we hit sign out, it'll disconnect our wallet, bring us back to our home page. And again, you can sign in, view our artwork. If we're not logged in, it's going to say, please log in to purchase our artwork. We can log into our email again, put in our passcode. And once we're logged in, again, you'll be able to purchase these art pieces with a credit card. And there you have it. We built a seamless Web3 application. Nowhere in this application does a user need to interact with a wallet, purchase anything with crypto. Instead, they're using very familiar features like signing in with an email and purchasing something with a credit card. A user can still view all their collectibles that are connected to their wallet. And again, this is all using ThirdWeb and Paper Wallet for the wallet and credit card transactions. So I hope you folks found this video helpful and you found some value in it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on videos just like this. And if you haven't joined our Discord community yet and joined the community of amazing builders just like yourself, we'll add a link down in the description below. If you have any questions or you need any support, we have a community there that's ready to help you out. But again, I hope you folks enjoyed this video, and until next time, see ya.